From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
You want to go where to buy a new refrigerator? Steve's A to Z Appliance in Cottonwood? In Cottonwood? Just a 10-minute drive. And they'll save us money. New and used, honest, reliable, factory-trained repair service and parts, and they'll save us money. And dispose of this thing? We gotta make the short drive to Steve's A to Z. Thanks, hon.
Steve's A to Z Appliance, front and main streets in Cottonwood. Drive a little, save a lot.
Good evening, everyone. I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. The latest on the tsunami is the tsunami advisory, and still until further notice. Earlier this morning, the National Weather Service downgraded the tsunami warning to a tsunami advisory, which is obviously good news. The wave height's not quite as high as earlier anticipated, and throughout the afternoon, and latest was a little over 2 feet. So again, not quite that 3, 4, even upwards of 5 feet as anticipated, which is obviously very good news. So when there's an advisory, you don't really need to take any action other than just staying out of the water and away from the beaches, as it can be dangerous when you are in the water, because we still have those large rushes of water, 2 feet. I mean, that's still pretty dangerous, so just be aware of that. Taking a look at some of the activity we've seen over the last 36 hours, and we start with yesterday's earthquake of 8.8, which you can see right there on the screen. There were several after that. But you can also see the Tuesday, then of course you can see one that was Wednesday, this afternoon at 2:51. And then you can see another one down to the south here. There were a few that were this early this morning as well. So there certainly have been a lot of aftershocks after that major earthquake. But it looks like things are starting to kind of quiet down a little bit here for your Wednesday. We do have more afternoon mountain thunderstorms continuing this week. So the thunderstorms we saw today, well, we're probably going to see more tomorrow from many of the same locations. Potential for more new lightning-sparked fires. Still warmer this week, but again, really the redeeming factor is the fact that temperatures really aren't that much, well, they're really close to normal, really. We're expecting them to stay below normal here for the next several days and even through the weekend. All right, here's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Wednesday, July 30th. There's a look at the thunderstorms that we have seen throughout the afternoon today. There even have been a few thunderstorm warnings and even flash flood warnings towards Siskiyou County and even parts of Trinity County here this afternoon and as we approach the evening hours. But for tonight, things will start to kind of quiet down again as we typically do, and then we'll see more activity as we go into tomorrow afternoon. In fact, take a look at out the door here for tomorrow morning. A dry start to the day, mostly cloudy and drizzly and foggy for the coast, and those temperatures in the 60s for the 50s and 60s for the higher elevations. Still have that area of low pressure over the Gulf of Alaska that's really preventing the heat over the desert southwest from expanding any larger, and as a result, our temperatures are fairly status quo. So we still have that risk for severe thunderstorms or thunderstorms in general with dry lightning again tomorrow. Most of it will be in the mountains, and you did see it did paint it in the valley as well. That's a much slimmer chance, but as we go through the afternoon on Thursday, this is looking at the HRRR forecast model, you can see in the afternoon a stray shower trying to develop here even as we go into the evening hours. But the bulk of that activity does look to be, as we have been all week long, thunderstorms mainly in the higher elevations. And then once again, Thursday night into Friday morning, it dries out again. So there's that chance for thunderstorms in the mountains. Temperatures, once again, fairly status quo, mid to upper 90s for your daytime highs in the valley. And we'll be in the 80s and even some 90s for the higher elevations and low to mid 60s for the coast. So looking at your 7-day forecast, we actually do have a little bit of a drop in our temperatures Sunday, Monday, before they start to go back up again for Tuesday and Wednesday. And that's the overall trend for the mountains as well. I think the best chances for thunderstorms, at least for Trinity County, will be once again tomorrow and Friday. But then by the weekend, I think most of it should stay to the north and even off into the eastern mountains as well. Although it looks like maybe a bit of a break on Saturday from the thunderstorms, with maybe another round on Sunday before drying out and warming back up, especially as we go into, say, Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. All right, that's a look at your Krueger's Quickcast. Let's take a look at the free Weather NorCal app. You know, there's a free Weather NorCal app All you got to do is search for Weather NorCal or point your phone at the QR code there on your screen. Download the app for free and you'll get all the information you need. It's a local forecast right there on your phone, generated by a local meteorologist that you're looking at right here. Also, the watches and warnings actually get push notification to the Weather NorCal app actually before the Weather Service issues them in general. So if you want to get those alerts and those watches and warnings before anyone else, be sure to download that free Weather NorCal app and make sure your notifications are on. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your forecast. We're going to start off with that fire weather forecast as we go into the deeper dive here. Of course, it's sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service, and those winds are where we start. And the main thing I like to illustrate with these winds is whether or not we have any wind events or not. And the good news is we really haven't had any to report over the last several months, and we don't have any new wind events to report here in the next couple of days and even weeks. The fire weather risk, pretty standard, pretty typical. We're looking at moderate to high in the valley because of the hot and dry conditions, and even a little breezy in the afternoon. That's the case again here as we go into your Friday. So again, no big changes, nothing to be terribly alarmed about. Now we still have this area of low pressure right here. That's the cooler air, okay? Now the warmer air is over here. That's been expanding into our region this week, and that's why temperatures have been warmer. But the reason it isn't getting any warmer and this isn't building any stronger is because this is preventing that from happening. So as long as that stays put, we'll be in pretty good shape. But the chances for thunderstorms continue again tomorrow afternoon, the chances for dry lightning, and then we're going to do it all over again as we take you into your Friday as well. So there's that dry lightning here for tomorrow, and then there's Friday, another chance for thunderstorms. Again, overdoing it a bit here for the valley, but we can't rule out maybe some activity in parts of the valley here even for tomorrow afternoon. Let's take a look at this. So here we are at 8 o'clock tonight. We're still seeing some lingering showers. And by the way, you know, stray sprinkles, stray shower, maybe even some thunderstorms just north of the valley here, right? And then we go into tonight around midnight into early tomorrow morning. It's all pretty much over with at this point, right? Because if you're going to 8 a.m., you're looking at dry conditions. That's standard, right? By midday, we start to see those towering cumulus clouds, maybe a few thunderstorms beginning to develop. They get stronger by the afternoon, and the potential for more strong to severe thunderstorms really across the board in the higher elevations. But what you'll notice, you see how some of that's kind of spilling over to the valley in some areas? So we could see some showers tomorrow afternoon, maybe even a straight thunderstorm in the afternoon and late evening for parts of the valley. It's Thursday, 6 p.m. All right, we still have those thunderstorms mainly in the mountains, and then by 10 o'clock Thursday, it's all pretty much over with. And hey, you know what? Let's just do it all over again on Friday, because we start off with dry conditions. By midday on Friday, we see those towering cumulus clouds, a few thunderstorms beginning to develop. Not as widespread. Most of the thunderstorms by Friday are going to be in northern Trinity, Siskiyou, and even into parts of Modoc and Lassen counties. And then looks like by the weekend, most of any thunderstorms will occur mostly in the higher elevations and north. So Trinity County, as we go into Saturday and even into your Sunday. Saturday looks like a bit of a break for everyone across the board. And then by Sunday, I think most of it will be confined up to the north. Places like Siskiyou, Modoc County. And you know what? I think there could even be a slight chance for some of those working their way into Lassen County as well. Then by Monday into Tuesday, it looks like we may be taking out the chances for thunderstorms altogether. But things will start to heat up. And we're beginning to see more of this warmer air, warmer than normal conditions, working their way into the longer range forecast. So here's the area of low pressure, the cooler air that's preventing this heat from building in, keeping our temperatures fairly status quo for the rest of this week and even through the weekend. Again, that's kind of staying put. Piece of energy breaks off from that. Temperatures actually will drop a little bit here by the time we get into Sunday and Monday, because a little cooler shot of air will push over us, allowing your temperatures to drop a bit. But then that moves back out this weekend, and we begin to see an overall more of a broadening ridge of high pressure. It's weak at this point, but you've got an area of high pressure here and the heat associated with that, and a broad, flat ridge of high pressure with some heat that is trying to and eventually will expand northward, and this will eventually give us some warmer temperatures in the longer range. Now, when we look at the 10-day trend, we're beginning to see some signs of that. You see how we're still in the upper 90s for the most part through the weekend. We see that little dip I was talking about Sunday, Monday, but then they start to tick back up. 100, back up to 101 for Thursday, Friday of next week, and then by that next weekend, maybe upwards of 102, and we may see them climb a little bit higher beyond that, say around 105, 106. So we're starting to see signs of some bigger heat heading our way, if you will, after really a really nice stretch of below normal temperatures for the most part. All right, temperatures here for Trinity County will be in the low to mid 90s for the most part. Best chances for thunderstorms in Trinity County will be tomorrow and then again Friday. I think we'll take the chances out over the weekend as we go into next week as well. For the North Coast, you're dry, maybe some of the drizzle for some of those morning hours, but otherwise partly to mostly cloudy skies. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s for your daytime highs. And for the inland areas, yeah, I think you'll remain dry. Looking at temperatures mainly in the low 90s through Sunday. A little bit of a dip in our temperatures come Monday, and then we see those temperatures back up. Upper 80s, about 90 by, say, around Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For Siskiyou County, we got the chance for thunderstorms again for Thursday, Friday, maybe a break on Saturday, and more thunderstorms possibly on Sunday. Same situation for Modoc County. For tomorrow, we're talking 87 degrees for Alturas, 84 for California Pines and Tule Lake, about 80 degrees. And for the Eastern Mountains, yes, that round of thunderstorms again tomorrow, Friday, maybe a break Saturday. I think the chances are slimmer as you head southward. So places like Fall River Mills, maybe a chance for thunderstorms. Places like Susanville, maybe a chance for thunderstorms on Sunday. But south of that, those chances may be a bit slimmer. All right, let's take a look at your valley neighborhood forecast to the south, and those temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s, 95 degrees in Chico, 96 for Los Molinos, dry. Look at that dip in the temperatures, getting close to the upper 80s by Monday of next week. Yeah, but then temperatures start to climb again after that. Looking at your 7-day forecast for Chico, down to 91 degrees by Monday, back in the mid 90s by next Tuesday and Wednesday. All right, we take you up to the north, 98 degrees for Redding, 97 for Palo Cedro, 96 in Cottonwood, 95 for Red Bluff, and look for Lakehead and Whiskeytown to top out at around 92 degrees. So here's your 7-day forecast for Redding. I mean, we're flirting with that triple-digit mark by the time we get into Friday and Saturday. Looks like in the low to mid 90s by Sunday, Monday, upper 90s to about maybe even close to 100 degrees here by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. All right, that's your evening update. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have a great night.
Fire spreads quickly. Don't wait until it's too late. Garmin's Tractor Service specializes in field mowing and light tractor work to help protect your family, your property, and those around you. We're fully insured, locally licensed, and ready to help you create the defensible space you need. Call or text Garmin's Tractor Service today. Protect what matters before fire strikes you.